Russian President Vladimir Putin has returned the threat of war to Europe. His troops have essentially surrounded Ukraine on three sides. As many as 100,000 are stationed near the border in Russia and Crimea. And now troops and fighter jets have been sent to Belarus to stage military exercises on Ukraine's northern border. As threatening as this seems, it's still not clear if Putin is actually planning an invasion, or if this is just a high
What is that, dude?
stakes negotiation tactic directed at NATO and the US.
То, что сейчас происходит, та напряженность, которая складывается в Европе, это их вина. На каждом шаге Россия вынуждена была как-то отвечать. На каждом шаге ситуация постоянно ухудшалась, деградировала и деградировала.
Putin says NATO expansion, especially in former Soviet republics, is a direct threat to Russia's security.
He's right. That's precisely what the NATO is doing. That's precisely what NATO is there for. That's true, as I've said over and over again, okay? He is 100% correct on that. That's true take. It's true. It's not Vice propaganda. First of all, Vice is like super pro State Department. What do you mean? They're probably going to be like, they already started out by saying Putin has surrounded Ukraine from all sides or whatever. People really be acting like the USA wouldn't have troops on the border that had an ongoing conflict that had Americans involved. Lamau, Russia be doing what USA did to Mexico and the US is upset. Yeah, I mean, oh my God, Hasan agreeing with Putin. Yes, because he is right on that. NATO's existence and NATO's entire purpose is to threaten any sort of fucking authority or any sort of fucking autonomy that Russia could ever have. Does Putin also personally still want to fucking potentially, push back the boundaries of the Russian Empire back to its old days?
1 year. Thanks for turning me into a socialist.
And inevitably have inevitably secure regional allegiance through whoever they can fucking put in positions of power in countries like Ukraine, maybe all the way back to fucking Poland. You know what I mean? Maybe push it to the push it back to like fucking Finland. You know what I mean? To the borders of Finland. Yeah, certainly. Okay, that's what big governments do. That's what governments do. Governments try to fucking maintain their regional sovereignty. Does that make it okay? Absolutely not. You also have to remember that, like, Putin's interests in conquest are not all right, but the United States and the UK and Canada turning Ukraine into an actual fucking war zone by consistently and routinely agitating, that's going to hurt Ukraine. That's going to hurt all these other countries. Why do you think they won't invade? I think that it is infinitely more successful for Vladimir Putin to install leadership in Ukraine that is sympathetic to Russia, like they used to have. That's it. It's so much better for him so that he is not cut off from access to the Black Sea, and that's it. Like everything goes away. All the fucking fighting, all the problems go away for Vladimir Putin, and you don't have a foreign or a nation state that is directly sitting on their fucking border that have guns pointed directly at them that Western imperialist nations can use as a fucking forward operating base. Do you think Russia is morally superior to Western imperialists? No, of course not. They showed clearly in Georgia and Crimea that they are willing to invade. What are you talking about? Bro, dude, I got motherfuckers living in Georgia right now that I know.
Get fucked.
Okay, I got motherfuckers living in Crimea. They don't care about this issue as much as you do, bro. Or they have a fucking more nuanced approach to this situation than you do. Like, you literally live in Oklahoma and you watch NBC all day and you go, dude, they're going to exert their regional authority and actually fucking take back certain parts of land and try to rebuild like the Russian Empire or whatever. It's like, what are you saying? No, they don't like getting invaded. Obviously not. And that's ridiculous. But like, you literally, you are making it seem as though this is something that we should have a say over, okay?
Hasan, I bought an NFT of your home. I now own it and I'm giving you notice of your eviction effective at the end of this month. If you would like to enter my home going forward, you will have to pay a toll at the door. The toll will be 1 ETH.
And as I said yesterday, and it bears repeating, the solution to Ukrainian independence does not revolve around Western imperialist forces helping Ukraine, okay? Just like the solution to Ukrainian independence did not revolve around, I don't know, Nazis helping Ukrainians gain independence against the USSR. These are countries that have incredibly fucking tight relationships with one another, okay? There's a particular reason why you're not hearing...
Hassle.
There's a reason why you're not fucking hearing about Germany's approach to this subject, because they're literally saying, we don't give a fuck. We're not going to do anything. Shut the fuck up. And ultimately, what's going to end up happening is like nothing is going to end up happening. Okay, and everybody's going to forget about it. Motherfuckers in Ukraine know this, okay? Because they've been in a holding pattern. What? Yeah, man, I didn't know you got burglarized. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, because of my background? Yeah. Ukrainians have been in a fucking holding pattern identical to this for many, many years. And the only difference is you guys are going to shut the fuck up about it. That's the only difference. You're going to shut the fuck up about it. You're going to stop complaining about it. You're going to not care.
3 months.
Just like you never cared about Afghanistan. Just like you currently don't care about what's going on in Yemen. That's not right, Hasan. Germany's not sending weapons to Ukraine because they didn't want to escalate the situation more like you were wishing for. Not sending weapons anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why Germany is not interested in escalating it further? Because they already have a fucking pre-existing relationship with Russia, okay? And they know that, like, they don't want fucking... They don't want tensions to rise. They don't want Russia to go into fucking Ukraine. And they're abiding by what Russia is saying. Because that's what you have to do, ultimately. What holding pattern? There's fucking trench warfare in Donetsk has been going on for 8 years. I mean, that's a little bit different.
Deep-fried meme, look, Hasan.
Russian separatists living in the Crimea that are being backed by Putin is entirely separate as a even with the history of the fucking region is entirely separate than Ukraine, like Kiev. You know what I mean? Like a country with 44 million people, 77% of it being Ukrainian. Okay, and to me, as someone who is kind of close to that region, as someone who is obviously from Turkey, who grew up in Turkey, like. Obviously, Crimea belongs to the Ottoman Empire. Don't get me started. You know, it's you know our right to go back, and we should be the ones invading Crimea, and they will welcome us as liberators because they are Tatars and they are of Turkic descent technically, and you know our history goes back way longer than the Russian dogs that came and you know overtook the region. Obviously, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? These guys who had a very complicated. Relationship with Crimea, including like the Crimean prince being educated in the Ottoman Empire, kind of as like a hostage, but also would be potentially the next successor if the Ottoman lineage ever fell apart. All that sort of stuff, you know. I mean, that's you know, that's like we need to give back Crimea to the Turks if we're being serious. No, I'm just kidding. Everything I said is a joke. Okay, everything I said is a joke. Do not take that seriously at all. But the point I'm trying to make there is that Crimea is a little bit different than Kiev. It's a little bit different than the rest of Ukraine, with respect to how much power the Ukrainian government has to defend itself.
The future of NFT and the blockchain should be for voting and centralized use, not this NFT money grab BS.
Anyway, kind of dumb to say that Ukraine shouldn't be able to have the autonomy to act on its own volition, whether that be joining Russia or aligning itself with the U.S. I mean, dude, I don't like NATO. I don't agree with fucking Ukraine being a part of NATO. I just do not. Is that a sentiment Turks hold? No, that's not. I was just joking.
He wants a guarantee NATO won't add new members, and definitely not neighboring Ukraine. The U.S. says countries should choose their own alliances. Russia and the U.S. spent last week trying to come to some agreement. More talks are supposed to happen, but so far they haven't gotten anywhere. So Russia has kept raising tensions, moving troops west from its border with China towards the one with Ukraine. The U.S. even...
Like, I don't understand. Before Russia started moving the troops and escalating by doing, you know, simulated or military training at the border and all that stuff, like, why was this... Like, why did Joe Biden months ago say, yeah, that's right, we're just not gonna fucking put Ukraine in NATO? Why can't they come to a reasonable compromise, an understandable middle ground where they say, look, it's ridiculous for you to say a lot of these Baltic states cannot join NATO. They've already joined NATO. Shut the fuck up. That's not going to change. But having said that, we won't let Ukraine, which is your fucking, border, we're not going to let Ukraine join NATO. Like, why can't they do that? Why can't Western nation states, which have absolutely zero, stake in this, that they're not going to fucking shed a single fucking piece of blood over this, why can't they just be like, all right, fuck it, it's fine? Why can't Ukraine decide for itself? What the fuck? Because it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You can't just make fucking allegiances with an organization that is designed with the express purpose of saying, like, fuck Russia. Designed with the express purpose of saying, like, we literally are built. And because we recognize what we are built for, which is to say, fuck the USSR, fuck communism, fuck Russia, okay? Because that was the design of this, we are not going to move eastward. We're not going to move further east. Okay, in the aftermath of the dissolvement of the USSR, which, by the way, a promise they did not keep. So, no, they have been encroaching, and you can't fucking do that. Like, you just can't do that. To let themselves decide, people are being ridiculous. Yeah, dude, fuck it. Americans literally will not allow other countries to do nuclear programs. Meanwhile, you're over here saying, let's put Ukraine and NATO in the fuck Russia program as their fucking border state. Like, it's so stupid. I hate this like autonomous nation argument. Like, it doesn't matter. Vosh believes you're wrong. Well, I don't care. This is like going to be one issue that I will be probably completely in opposition with the rest of the liberal and neoliberal and leftist political commentators. Okay, I don't care. It doesn't work that way. Only Russia can decide another autonomous country's allegiance is sweaty. That's not even it. It's about fucking regional sovereignty. It's about like actual autonomy. It's about actual fucking security. At a certain point, regardless of how I feel about fucking Vladimir Putin, and regardless of how I feel about Vladimir Putin going in to other countries, because I do disagree with that. I do disagree with Russia enforcing its own Russia enforcing like its expansionist policy is not good.
For everything you do.
But regardless of what I think about it, I still don't think that like the solution to that is more American imperialism, more Western imperialism. Its own land.
Been here longer than 11 months, but I can't believe it's almost.
No matter how much I disagree, Ukraine shouldn't have autonomy. Dude, Ukraine can have autonomy to do whatever the fuck it wants, but it's entirely separate when you literally join the fuck Russia. You join the fuck Russia NATO brigade. That's not just autonomy. Okay? Hello, please use our fucking country as a forward operating base. That's not just like, exercising your own fucking autonomy. Also, again, I don't know why I'm having a conversation with neoliberals and left or people who think that they're progressive because they watch American news and then they're like, oh, I really care about the Ukrainian people's well-being. Otherwise, Russia is going to fucking go in and, take over Ukraine. They're going to go in and take over Ukraine for sure. They're going to do that, right? I don't know why I'm talking to you when like the underlying concern is if Russia did go into Ukraine, doesn't matter if there's fucking NATO forces there, doesn't matter at all. That would turn it into a gigantic fucking issue where a lot of people would die. A lot of Russians would die. A lot of Ukrainians would die. You know who wouldn't die? You living in fucking Ohio, reading like, foreignpolicy.com articles and coming in here to fucking copy paste shit directly from statedepartment.gov. Okay? So you don't give a fuck. It's just an argument for you. And the argument is like, I feel like I care about the Ukrainian people. Everyone is telling me that like the right thing to do here is like allow Ukraine to fucking join NATO. It's so weird.
Claims that Russia has a plan to fake an attack against itself or its allies.
Russia's laying the groundwork to have the option of fabricating a pretext for invasion. And we've seen this before. We saw this before leading up to 2014, just to note.
2014, of course, was when Russia annexed Crimea and helped separatists take over regions in eastern Ukraine. This round of threats could turn into an attempt to claim another chunk of Ukraine. Or Russia could threaten NATO and the US more directly. Aides of Putin hinted last.
Yes, we make fun of the US-Cuba fears in this exact reverse situation. This is silly. Yet we make fun of US-Cuba fears in this exact reverse situation. This is silly. Dog, The entire reason why there was a Cuban Missile Crisis is because America, by way of NATO, quite literally directed missiles in Turkey towards the USSR. And since then, America has tried to like do significantly worse things to Cuba than Russia could do to Ukraine in a million years. What the fuck kind of take are you making right now? America has done to Cuba way worse things than Russia has ever done to Ukraine. You can get mad at me and say, you know, in contemporary society, Russia. I'm not talking about the USSR. I'm talking about Russia. I'm talking about Russia. I'm not talking about the USSR. Do not fucking hit me with the other shit.
Last week that Russian nuclear weapons could be moved closer to the U.S. State media seems to be priming Russians for conflict.
В Вашингтоне, кажется, готовы на разрыв отношений с Россией, а значит, готовы к войне.
Russians are listening, but most of them still...
What the fuck is she wearing, bro? What the fuck?
Готовы
Olga Skabeveva, host of Russia
к
One.
войне.
Look at what she's wearing. Oh my God. What are they wearing on television, dude? It's crazy. This subject brings out the biggest dumb fucks with the biggest mouths and the least amount of real problems. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's just, you know, the only reason why people are talking about this is because the media is like gearing you up. Okay, that's it.
The sub baby is almost
Russians are listening, but most of them still appear to believe that an all-out conflict in Ukraine is unlikely.
И мне кажется, что когда понизятся амбиции со стороны НАТО и со стороны нас уйдет некий страх, да, то, возможно, появится возможность...
Why does NATO still exist? Can someone explain to me why NATO still exists? They won. They literally fucking won, okay? The USSR does not exist. Why the fuck is there still a NATO? And why are they still expanding? Like, there's absolutely zero reason for it to exist. Security, yeah, okay, bro. No, it's not. It's Hong Kong and Taiwan repeats the same dipshit neoliberals, same talking points. I know, it's gonna happen over and over again.
То есть вот на основе договоренности, мне кажется, напряженностью идет.
Война только в средствах массовой информации, в соцсетях, на телевидении. А так все спокойно мир. Мы думаем,
But the US imperialism doesn't justify Russian imperialism. The fuck? If you can't see that Putin is the aggressor here, I don't know what to tell you, Chief. You know, you're right, dude. Yeah. Putin moving its fucking troops over to its own country is actually an act of war and an act of aggression. But 8,500 American troops coming from Europe to Eastern Europe in a specific and deliberate effort to like make Ukraine operate like a fucking NATO country, that's not an act of aggression, dude. You're right, dude. How about they say no? How about they say no? Why is that so hard? None of us have any fucking stake in this, okay? None of us have a dog in this fight. How about, chatters, you and I, we decided, okay, we're doing Model UN or whatever the fuck, right? How about they say fucking, okay, we're not letting Ukraine into NATO. Maybe we'll let Ukraine into the EU, but not NATO. How about that? What happens? Let's say Russia no longer is doing military troop activity at the border. Is that going to be okay? Because motherfuckers keep saying appeasement. The other side of appeasement is World War II.
Right.
The other side of appeasement is World War II. You get that, right? So are you saying that you're ready to fucking go get drafted to go fight in fucking the Ukrainian Russian wars? No. All you want to do is eat chicken tendies and play Call of Duty. You're not going to fucking go. You're not going to get drafted. You're not going to go fight in World War III. It'll really change things. Maybe I'll get pussy finally. Like, dumbasses.
days of brain rot.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if like literally just a group of individuals that look the same, sound the same, have the same culture, have the same fucking food, and then like the minor differences is like a little bit like just a little bit of seasoning in their fucking religion. If those two dumbasses go to fucking war with each other and then like the entire world has to fight one another, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit, dude. One of the most idiotic fucking things that could have ever happened.
что буквально через ближайшее время все успокоится.
Касательно вообще большой войны, мы видим, что вероятность этой войны не такая большая, да, порядка 25% говорят о мировой войне.
It's also entirely... Dude, here's the same people, Ukrainians are not Russians, you clearly know shit about history, stay humble, sit down. Bro, if I literally put a Ukrainian person and a Russian person and another Ukrainian person and another Russian person, a Ukrainian person and a Russian person side by side, you will never be able to say which one is Ukrainian and which one's Russian, okay? I say this exact same shit about Armenians and Turks. I say this exact same shit about fucking Greeks and Turks as well. We all fucked each other for hundreds of fucking years. Okay? You are a dumbass. Not only that, but also Islam is like tangibly different than Christianity, at least from a geopolitical standpoint. Fucking Christian Orthodoxy and Catholicism is literally just the same shit. It's like Protestants and Catholics fighting each other, okay? It's fucking annoying as shit. It happens in Ireland too. It's very fucking frustrating. They're both Orthodox? There's not even a religious difference. Oh God, I'm losing it. Okay. I thought there was at least some fucking religious difference. Sunnis and Shias.
Can't wait for the next land war.
It's the same people. It's the same people. There you go. It's the same people across the board. Okay. Sorry. Coptic Orthodox and Eastern Orthodox.
Americans are correct about everything. Even THO, their whole history is a lie.
Anyway.
Войне и вот 35-40 о вероятности войны с соседними странами, с Украиной.
Denise Volkov of the independent polling organization Levada Center says this is not just a way for Putin to boost his falling popularity.
Думаю, здесь российские власти очень хорошо понимают, что думает российское общество.
То есть, учитывая общественное мнение, но при этом не то, что общественное мнение диктует то, что делает Путин.
Да. И очень часто, мне кажется, есть еще и такая неверная посылка, неверное представление, что все это делается ради рейтингов. То есть, да, если не дай бог, будет конфликт.
They're Turks? Yeah, of course. All of them are technically Turks. Yes. Okay, I mean, for real though, the USSR is like comprised of a lot of Turkic countries. That's not even a joke.
2 months of
the part where I said they're all Turks is a joke, but the USSR was comprised of a lot of fucking Turkic nations. So that's not even a joke.
Наверное, вырастут, особенно на начальном этапе, конечно, будет мобилизация. Но это явно не для мобилизации общественного мнения, это вторичный вопрос. Да, это российские власти, как мне кажется, действуют из представлений собственных, представлений о безопасности, о том, вот, что хорошо, что плохо для страны, какие представления, исходя из представлений об угрозах, как они их видят.
A majority of Russians say they fear a world war, but Levada Center polls show their biggest worries are rising prices, poverty, and corruption. The U.S. has threatened new, harsher sanctions. Sergei Markov, a former ruling party lawmaker, says Russia can weather whatever comes its way.
Может ли Россия позволить себе такую большую военную операцию в данный момент, когда экономика стагнирует после 2014 года?
Сможет ли Россия сделать такую военную операцию, освободить половину Украины? Это как раз и есть вопрос экзамена. Вот США и НАТО, как я сказал, профессора сидят и говорят, вы не сможете сдать этот экзамен, вы слабые. А Россия говорит, я могу это сделать, я сильная, я сдам этот экзамен.
Europe has a lot to lose if a Russian invasion would be tolerated. Billions of EU aid is invested into democratization and removing corruption. Motherfucker said democratization initiatives, dude. What the fuck? What? Bro, that's pretty good. That's a good one. That was the funniest neoliberal take I've seen so far. Thank you. Motherfucker said, man, the investment, so much investment would be lost. I mean, yeah, dude, I love doing lethal aid in the form of democratization measures. Why do liberals care so much about a broader conflict or half a world away? Because they like war, because the media is telling them to care about war, okay? It's facts, not a take. Yeah, totally. Fuck NATO, all my homies hate NATO. This notion that America or European countries care about democratization initiatives is pretty funny. Democratization is what Americans and Western imperialists consider to be the ending of centralized control over markets, for example. Everything is considered democratization as long as they're becoming more capitalist. That's democratization of the marketplace.
Вот сейчас посмотрим экзамен, я думаю,
Do you feel like you're living in a democracy right now?
начнется скоро.
Past sanctions have forced Russia towards a more self-sufficient economy, and some European countries like Germany depend on Russian gas. So the US may have a hard time getting support for sanctions strong enough to actually deter Putin.
Путин уже принял свое решение по поводу вторжения войск на Украину Восточную или еще нет?
Я думаю, что 100% решения точно нет. Потому что Путин все еще надеется на какой-то позитив.
I told you guys, here's my lock, okay? Nothing is going to happen. Everyone is getting fucking geared up. Nothing is going to happen. Ultimately, there will be like, in a couple years, there will be like another fucking, Russia-loving leader that is in charge of Ukraine, okay? And that's it.
America deserves Zajan. America deserves Chad.
That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel about it. I think that the whole, like, Russia is our foreign adversary. We got to fucking, we got to do anything we can. Yeah, like Georgia and Crimea. I mean, there's a difference between fucking Crimea and Georgia and Ukraine as a whole. Doesn't Ukraine have literally, like, the third largest fucking military in Europe? Like, if you look at it as, like, European countries. I'm going to look this up.
Tell me why it
Go live in Russia then? Why the fuck would I do that? Why don't you go live in Ukraine then? Go defend Ukraine by yourself. It's the 8th largest? Okay, that's not as big. Chatter's browser right now. Oh my god. Dude, this is funny as fuck. Chatter's browsers right now. HasanAbi Twitch, Ukraine Wikipedia, Russia Wikipedia. Leftist shit about Russia. Are the Ukrainians Turkish? Foreign policy, the global magazine. Recently watched an older bit from a German satirist. Is it true that up until Obama, the U.S. government were pro-Putin recently? No. George W. Bush literally said he wanted to fucking add Georgia and Ukraine into NATO. The size of Ukraine's armed forces, which maintains a 255,000 man force, is the third largest in Europe after Russia and French armed forces. Oh damn, bro. So I was right. And now it's even swelled up to 280,000. Poland had one of the world's largest militaries in 1939. Ultimately, Russia's air power leaves Ukraine at a huge disadvantage. I'm not going to say anything.
Happy 11 months.
Okay, I gotta pee.
Соединенными Штатами отношений Соединенных Штатов Америки с Европой.
First Taiwan and now Ukraine. It's a big year for Americans' geography education. Americans only learn about fucking global geography by choosing where to justify invading next, okay? Or choosing where we need to fucking immediately provide lethal aid to. That's the only way that Americans learn about other countries and how they exist. They're like, oh shit, dude, I just found out that there's a place called Taiwan and we must immediately give them lethal aid. That's what we have to do. You're crazy.
Но вероятность того, что Путин будет вынужден отдать приказ освободить часть Украины, очень-очень велика.
U.S. troops on heightened alert over Ukraine, Russia.
Overseas, President Biden ordering 8,500.
Bro, it's so good for the ratings, though. It's so good for the fucking ratings, dude. Like that's the reality. It's just great for the ratings. That's it. It's good content. It's good for the ratings. It's good for TV. It's good for the military-industrial complex. It's good for like what keeps the American wheels greased, you know? And that's precisely why they do it. There's no like genuine reason. There's no like no one gives a fuck about the Ukrainian people. Get the fuck out of here. If they gave a fuck about the Ukrainian people, they would immediately de-escalate, okay? But both sides are escalating tensions because they don't give a fuck about the Ukrainian people. That's it. It's just like, this is good. This is good for fucking, every other part of the fucking economy that relies on war and endless sea of war.
U.S.